I would like to say that, or I would like to say, but I can't, that this was my idea and that I had these medallions designed and commissioned and put in a box, but it wasn't my idea. I would like to thank Ms. Gail Steele, who is the board liaison, wherever she may be at this point, for coming up with this idea. There she is. Please give her a round of applause. So congratulations to all of those individuals, and thanks for your service to the Virgin Islands and to the University of the Virgin Islands. It is now time for our keynote speaker. Yes, I feel the same way. It is more than an honor to introduce the keynote speaker for our 2017 commencement. It is a joy. Rare are the moments to have someone in your midst who embodies at an exceptional level all of the values we strive to instill within our students. Goal 2A of our strategic plan says that every student who graduates from UVI should be academically excellent, globally sensitive, entrepreneurially focused, emotionally and spiritually balanced, and willing to serve the world. Iyanla Vanzant is brilliant, a global thinker, an entrepreneur who is a master of emotional and spiritual intelligence, and she has served the world through her numerous gifts and insights. Yet life for her ain't been no crystal stairs. We are placing before our students more than a famous TV personality whose show attracts millions. We are placing before them the embodiment of the spirit of rising up. In her journey through life, she has overcome loss, tragedy, rejection, and still she rises. You may know her as an author or as the executive producer and star of the popular show Iyanla Fix My Life, which is carried on the Oprah Winfrey Network. I know her as a powerful, authentic spiritual vessel who has allowed her gifts of insight, passion, and creativity to be used to help heal the brokenness that exists within us all. She is a keeper of culture who is not only willing to speak truth to power, but to speak truth to those who believe they are powerless so they can embrace and exercise the power within. Iyanla Vanzant is like that relative we all have whose smile always lifts our spirit, but whose words always push us to be better than we think we can be. Iyanla Vanzant is a throwback to a time when there was always someone in the village who knew exactly what we needed. And yet she is a modern-day digital griot who speaks to the world. She is spiritual sunshine on a rainy day. She is sobering inspiration, a place where spiritual insight marries cultural wisdom, where humility dates power, where God shows up in people. With deep pride and excitement, I present to you my sister, my friend, a priestess to the soul, Iyanla Vanzant.
Good morning, village. I bring you greetings from the nation of Brooklyn, where I know many of you have family and friends. I bring you greetings from my sister friend, Miss Oprah Winfrey, to all of the graduates. To President Hall and Chairman Smock and all of the board members and faculty members and the illustrious elected officials and the emeriti and the emerita and all the folk here today. It is truly my honor to be in service, not only to God, but to my community. And as I shared yesterday, this was the first time that I've been invited to do a commencement address for an institution of color. First time. And the first time I got to sit next to a governor. And the fact that he's a governor of color is quite exciting. It is my honor to be here. I am so happy for you and proud of you, this graduating class. I want to start here. I want all of the men in this class to please stand, because you are not the ones they write about. You are not the ones they talk about. You are not the ones that they hold up. You are not the ones, and I want to say thank you. Thank you. Come on, give them some love. Yes, all of the men. And wait a minute, when you go out there and it gets hard and it gets rough and you worry and you wonder, remember this moment. This moment. Let it be etched into your soul and let it support you in choosing the next most appropriate steps. We are proud of you and we honor you, and I love you. Thank you so much. I also want to ask graduate Hakeem Potter. Where are you, Hakeem? Where's Hakeem? I don't know if you know, Hakeem lost his father this morning. And in honor of his father and in honor of his work, he still marched in his class. Hakeem, today would have been my daughter's 45th birthday. I know what it's like to lose somebody you love. And we just want to honor you and your dad today. He is proud of you, Hakeem. Yes. I know what it's like. So, thank you, Hakeem. Yes, yes. I was 30 years old, single mother of 3, riding on a bus in Brooklyn, when I saw a sign that says, if you are ready to change your life, come to Medgar Evers College. I was on my way home from the welfare office, where I had done my 90-day reassessment to make sure that I could continue to get a check for me and my 3 children. And I saw that sign, and I got off the bus and got a transfer and went to Medgar Evers College and enrolled at the age of 30. For the next 3.5 years, me and my children attended classes at night. They came with their popcorn and their peanuts and their books and would sit outside the door in Medgar Evers College because I couldn't afford childcare. And the family that wanted me to continue to receive a welfare check and told me I was crazy for going to college wouldn't babysit them. So in 3.5 years, I finished my undergraduate degree with a major in public administration and a minor in early childhood education. I wanted to be a nurse, but I went to that biology class. I went to the biology class, and they put that frog in front of me. And then over in the cabinet, I saw that pig in the formaldehyde. And I knew one day if I could get through the frog that me and that pig had a date, and I transferred to public administration. When I walked across the stage graduating 3.5 years later, summa cum laude, my children walked in front of me. I want to speak to you from that place today. I want to speak to you from the place of a woman of color struggling to find out who she is and stand proudly in that, in this world where women and people of color are not always honored and respected. I want to speak to you from the place of a broken little girl who grew up in dysfunction and who didn't have an example and a demonstration for how to be in the world. I want to speak to you from that place. Not because my family was bad or wrong, but because God had something very special for me to do. And the best students get the hardest tests. I want you to remember that. I want to speak to you from the place of a young woman who loved the wrong men over and over and over because her father wasn't there. And it wasn't until she found out who she was within herself that she could rise up over the environment and the demonstrations that had been made for her. I want to speak to you from that place today. I don't want to speak to you from being a New York Times best-selling author or a star on television. That's fluff and frill. And when your back is up against the wall, that ain't going to help you. I want to speak to you from the tenacity of that 30-year-old woman with a high school diploma and 3 children by 3 different fathers who got off the bus and went to college, because many of you are sitting out there in this audience today. I want to speak to you from that place. And I want to share with you the thing that got me through. The thing that got me through the nights and the tests and the papers. The thing that got me through making a choice between paying rent and buying a book. The thing that got me through whether or not I could really make it. The thing that got me through was remembering these words over and over and over and over. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. I know you know that you are just beginning. The real work begins now. The real work begins in taking this information, this knowledge, this open-mindedness that this faculty has given you and taking it out into the world to make a difference, not just for you and your family and your community, but to the world. You come from an institution where the majority of students are people of color. And very often, what we do and how we do it is not equated as excellent and equal to other places. But there is nothing to fear. This faculty has instilled in you knowledge and information that you now get to take and craft and mold into a new way in a new century. There's nothing to fear. You don't have to fear if you're good enough or if you did it right or if you got everything you need. You got exactly what you need to take the next most appropriate steps to grow yourself into who you were born to be. There is nothing to fear. See, of all of the enemies in the universe, and there are a whole lot of them, there are a whole lot of stuff out there that could take you off track. We often forget about fear because fear will stop you in your tracks because it's the enemy that is in me. It's not coming from the outside. Fear doesn't just come from what people will say to you or what they'll say about you. Fear doesn't just come from what people expect of you or what they take away from you. Fear comes from what you tell yourself about yourself and whether or not you believe it. But there's nothing to fear. You don't have to fear success. You don't have to fear failure. You don't have to fear not making it. You don't have to fear whether you're good enough or smart enough or whether you know enough or have enough. You don't have to fear. Let your faith replace your fear. I want to give you 3 tools that you can use to make sure fear does not stop you and the work that you were sent here to do. Because everybody doesn't get this opportunity. And everybody who starts it doesn't finish it. To become an educated community member, that doesn't happen for everybody. 3 tools I want to give you. I call it the CIA. You know, the CIA is an intelligence organization. And they go in and they see what has to be done to keep the country and individuals safe. So the first element of your CIA is your character. What in my tradition as a Yoruba we call Iwa Pele. Grow your character. Meaning, make sure that everything you do, you are intentional, that you're living a value, and that not only does it serve a personal need, but it serves a broader need than you, your character. When people talk about them, let them say good things about you, because that is what you demonstrate, your character. We live in a world where people want friends and likes, and they have no character. Because the minute they hear or see something that they disagree with, they'll blast you anonymously with all manner of foul language on a medium that you can't even respond to. Grow your character. Make sure that everything you do is in alignment with who you say you are. And character doesn't begin when you walk out the door. Make sure that what you do in public is in alignment with who you say you are privately, and what you say privately is demonstrated by how you show up publicly. When you have a strong, solid character, there's nothing to fear. Nothing to fear. Your I in your CIA, integrity. Now, as a spiritual technician, I define integrity as that what you think, what you say, what you feel, and what you do is all in alignment. Because nothing will sink you faster than thinking one thing, saying one thing, feeling one thing, and doing something else. It's all over the news right now, as someone we know well has done that. And it's just kind of being in conflict right now, you know what I mean? What you think, what you feel, what you say, and what you do has to be congruent, in alignment. Because so very often, to please people, will think one thing, feel something, do something else, and say something else. It's going to catch up with you. And it'll be a demarcation against your character. The other thing about your I and integrity is do what's right even when nobody is looking. Even when nobody is looking. Integrity means that you are in alignment internally and externally, and that you do what is required even when nobody is looking. The other day I was teaching at my institute, the Innovisions Institute, and they put me up on the honors floor so that we get free coffee. I do love my morning coffee. It's such a delightful treat to me. And I went out I had my pajamas on under my raincoat. Hopefully nobody would chase me and I would be seen as a stripper out in the hallway in my underwear. And I went to make a cup of coffee, and when I was fixing it, I dropped a pack of sugar on the floor. It's a pack of sugar, right? So I made my coffee and I put my lid on and I went to walk away. And just that quick, my spirit said, go back and pick up that sugar off the floor. I said, I ain't going back and pick up nothing. Go back and pick that piece of sugar. Don't you hate when you having an argument in your head with yourself? And when you're losing, it's even worse. Because if you can't win in your own head, you're really in trouble. Okay? Go back and pick that. I'm picking the sugar up. Now, a good element of character is obedience. Obedience to that still small voice that will speak in your head. So I'm walking down the hotel hallway, 6:30 in the morning, having an argument with my own self in my own head about why I won't go back and pick up one little package of sugar off the floor. And then, sometime the good part of you will get real down and dirty and really lay it out for you. Oh, so you're so high and mighty now that the Latin immigrant women who clean up beds and toilets behind people to feed their children, you don't care that they have to bend over and pick up a pack of sugar that you dropped on the floor, Miss Yamla. Okay. But I was so grateful that the depth of my integrity wouldn't let me get away with something that was a demarcation against my character. Because if I stand publicly for the empowerment of women, then no woman has to go behind me to pick up what I mindlessly dropped on the floor. Integrity, character. When they're strong and solid, there is nothing to fear, because you're so solid on the inside of you that anything that comes up against you, some part of your character or some depth of your integrity will give you what to think, do, and say to move beyond it. Finally, your A in your CIA is appreciation. Some may call it gratitude. Some may call it thankfulness. I call it appreciation. And it starts with self-appreciation. Appreciate who you are. First of all, as a descendant of people who chose to survive. Your ancestors did not jump off the ship. They did not run from the Holocaust. Your ancestors are those who endured manners of inhumanity that you can't even imagine, just so that you could be here today and don that cap and don that robe and don that kente around your neck. Appreciate who you are and what somebody gave up for you to be here. Picking up that pack of sugar reminded me that my grandmother, a Lakota native, half African American, half Native American, in Virginia in the 1920s. Can you even imagine? Cleaned people's floors and houses 7 days a week. Took me to work with her on Saturday and stood me on a crate so that I could iron napkins and pillowcases. That was my grandmother. So when I picked up that pack of sugar, I was reminded of the names that her madams used to call her and the things that she endured so that I could ride a bus and go to college. Appreciate those who came before you and what they gave up so that you could be here today. Appreciate yourself, because you didn't have to be sitting here. You could have been out shopping. You could have been on the pole. And I say that because there are young women today who aspire to be on the pole. That is their job vision. The pole. You know what the pole is? I know y'all are educated. You know, wrap a leg around and swing around the pole. So appreciate yourself. Appreciate yourself if you're the one who got out. See, I was the one who got out. And I was the last one standing. Start there with appreciation for yourself. Appreciate your parents. Whoever they are, whatever they did the best that they could. Appreciate that. Appreciate what they gave you. Appreciate what they didn't have to give you because it made you resourceful and you had to go find it for yourself. Appreciate that. Ladies, appreciate that good girlfriend who's always been there for you. Appreciate her. The one who would tell you your butt is too big for that dress. Appreciate her. The one who's always going to tell you the truth. Appreciate that elder woman who prayed for you, even when you didn't know it. Appreciate her. Appreciate the man you fell in love with that broke your heart and left you, because that inspired you to go on and do something. Now, I'm talking about just be appreciative of everybody for everything. And appreciate your Creator, whatever you call the God of your understanding. Appreciate the fact that every day you wake up with an opportunity to make a new choice. And every choice you make supersedes and overrides every other choice you've ever made. Appreciate grace. Appreciate mercy. Appreciate that something greater and grander than you placed the seed of a purpose in your life. And you're sitting here today is just a part of that purpose unfolding. Yes, there's nothing to fear. When you got C, character, I, integrity, and a deep level of appreciation. There is nothing to fear, my beloveds. When you go out there and it looks hard and it looks rough, don't get afraid. Get purposeful, get focused, get on point, get a vision. There's nothing to fear about whether you're going to get a job or whether you're going to make it to grad school or law school. There's nothing to fear. Claim it. Speak it now as though it is. And make sure that what you want to do lines up with your character. Think what you want, feel what you want, speak what you want, and then take the appropriate steps to get there. There is no thing to fear. You've made it this far. And I don't believe that the Creator I serve will bring us this far to leave us. You haven't come this far to fail now. So there is no thing to fear. For all you single moms that did this, yes. Yes. And all you men who did this, supporting a family or finding your way, big up to you. Big up to you. So I want to leave you in the words that my grandmother taught me when I was a young girl. As a Lakota native, all of her history was oral. And she used to say this to my brother and I all the time, and I used to just think she was crazy as the day is long. But no matter where we were going, every day when she sent us to school or when she sent us to the store or when she sent us to church or wherever she was going, she would look at us. She'd say, "Ho, matakuyo asin." Be good to each other. Look out for each other. Take care of each other. Because there is only one man, and his name is all men. There is only one woman, and her name is all women. There is only one child, and its name is all children. You are all of that. Be good to you, and fear not. Be blessed.